Shaniqua, anywhere from late 20s to mid-40s. A bench in a train station on the outskirts of a British city. The present. A train announcement is heard as Shaniqua, dressed for business, enters, carrying a briefcase. She sits on a bench in a train station, exhausted, shakes her head, thinking back to the afternoon's events. Finally, she takes out a crushed sandwich, considers it, tosses it down on the seat next to her. She looks up and stares at the audience. She addresses them in a cordial but bewildered manner. The next train arriving at platform 2 will be the 1832 to London Paddington.
I asked her how she pronounced her name. She said Amaris, but it wasn't spelled the way it sounded, she told me. Amaris was the spelling on her little crooked name tag. She warily shrugged her shoulders as she was cleaning the counter in front of me and sighed. My parents? So I smile, quiet-like, and tell her. Some parents like to change names around for the fun of it, ensuring their children, i.e. you and me, will be explaining the spelling and meaning of our names up until the day they put big tags on our toes. She laughed and asked me what my name was. Shaniqua, only it's not spelled the way it sounds. Shaniqua, African in origin. Means God is gracious. Now that part I like and never mind explaining it. Although I'm not much of a believer, the meaning has always made me feel protected, like. I told my mum that once and she said, well, there you are. There you are what? I asked. That's why I named you Shaniqua. And you all thought I bought that, did you? I've been mulling over that for donkey's years. It was a warm afternoon today. I had 2 hours to kill before my train and I still had some government paperwork to finish. So I popped into this nice looking little pub on the outskirts of the city. As Amaris starts to pour me a beer, my attention turns to the gigantic flat screen above the bar. It's blaring out, and for a welcome change, it's not sports, it's the news, I think. Footage of some men carrying clubs, torches, and flags. They're shouting different slogans as they march. Britain first, take back our country. Britain first, take back our country. I hadn't realized we'd lost it. I like her, Amaris. She's shaving the foam off my pint and chatting away. You and I have the same birthday month, she says. Now, how do you know that? She giggles and points to my paperwork. It's here, August 10th. You get a discount today, it being August and all. So you're a Leo as well, Amaris. August 15th. Supposed to be a lion, but I'm no lion. She shrugs. You're a Leo, but not a lion. Right. I'm gutless. Most Leos are direct and don't mind a good fight. I smile. Extroverts, you mean? Outgoing? Let the world know what they're thinking? Yeah, that's so unlike me. So you're an alternative Leo, the lion. She rolls her eyes, giggles again, while she bounces from foot to foot, washing some beer glasses. She finishes and blows a big bubble with her bubblegum, then sucks it back in as her attention turns to the big screen above us. Those guys are still in that demonstration. I see they're wearing some sort of mock uniforms with strange red, black, zigzag emblems on them. Some are carrying flags with that emblem as well. Their numbers seem to be growing from when I first saw them on the screen. They're chanting a new slogan now. Blood and soil, blood and soil. I'm sure those creeps are in America, says my little gum chewer. We both stare up. I hate to say this, Amaris, but those creeps, I do believe are here in Britain. Now, out of the corner of my eye, I suddenly notice movement, 2 stools down. He's leaning in towards us, listening like. Doesn't feel right. Having been here a time or two before, I make a note to lower my voice. I turn my stool away from his direction ever so slightly. You joking me? Says our girl, another bubble forming. Somebody ought to do something about them. And I'm thinking, we are somebody's, darling, but I don't think I'll point that out now at this particular moment. totally oblivious, Amaris continues. Whereabouts are they? What city? Oh my God, it's our city centre. She announces this about 10 decibels above normal. I feel the agitation moving in from 2 doors down. Totally unaware, our gutless little lioness moves on, the same volume, of course. And why are they shouting blood and soil? That don't mean anything. That's just stupid. Blood and soil was a Nazi slogan back in the 30s, I explain, quietly to her. Only she's not cottoned on that we're being listened to by a very twitchy guy whose mama put a bowl on his head and shaved all round it and underneath it as well. I can feel it coming. And I can tell little Miss Innocent has not a single clue. Just keep chewing, Amaris. Smack that gum and don't look at this creature readying to pounce. And then, here comes the explosion. They're not stupid, he shouts. We've just had enough, and we're going to take back our streets, take back our country. But he's not saying this to her. He's saying it to me. He's glaring at me. Shit. I feel the heat beginning to rise in me. It's beginning to burn. It's gone from my feet and up my legs and into my stomach. He's now acknowledging a stunned little Amaris. And why the fuck are you serving her? This is our local. If anyone is stupid, Amaris, it's you. He turns to me again. We don't want you in here. You people have fucked up our country enough as it is. Go back to the jungle where you belong. It's moving up through my chest, getting closer and closer to my mouth. My mouth is opening, it's coming. And then I hear a whole new voice. And it's not mine. It's coming out of little gum-popping Amaris. Get out, George. Get out. My dad and I own this pub. And it's not that kind of, you seem to think it is. And you're not welcome here ever again. But he doesn't back down. He starts the tirade again, filling the air with epithets so blue, it would be hard to see his face if it wasn't so ugly. And before you know it, Amaris has hopped over the counter, standing in front of him, looking like the shortest person on earth, facing up to the tallest one. I mean, she's looking up from his chest and she's punching her fingers right into him. I hear her say, let me put it in a language you understand, George Farnsworth. There's no room here for racist dickheads. So get the fuck out. Have you ever seen a great big dog put his tail between his legs and go howling out the door?
Shaniqua sits back, thinking, smiles ever so slightly, turns as if to Amaris.
Yeah, Amaris. You're definitely one gutless Leo, all right. She was still huffing and puffing, trying to catch her breath, but finally she settled and eventually gave me a little embarrassed smile. I raised my glass to her and said, with gutless little lions like you around, there's hope for us all, darling.